Hi there, welcome to Winner's Bitch. This is Vicki Ronchetti. I'm the owner of Show Dog Prep School. We offer online courses, webinars, workshops, and a mentor program for conformation. So what we're going to work on this week is using a platform to do some distance and duration for free stacks. Now I'm going to start out hand stacking the dog, and initially I was going to do, this is my new puppy. He's 6 months old. I've had him for maybe 3 weeks now. He came from Australia, and I was going to start him on a stacking box, but he already stacks pretty well. So when I went to get out the box, I realized that I was going to need to take a little bit of time to get him used to it and desensitized to it. So I decided to just go ahead and use the platform instead of the stacking box. So this puppy knows how to stack. I'm going to have some treats over here because I want to be able to get to them, but I don't necessarily want to have them in my hand. When I started teaching dogs to stack, I would always just hold the food in my hand and then kind of stack them while they were eating. But what I feel like now is that they're not really thinking about it, which is why I developed the focused hand stack. So I want him to be able to know there's food, and I'm going to reward him for every little piece that he does, but it's just going to be a little at a time. So he's focused on that food, so I'm going to reinforce him. And then I'm just going to go to stacking him and see what we can do. Good job. Good. Stay. Good. So once I get the dog stacked, I want to begin to see if I can play with having him hold the position. So that was clearly way too much for him to stand up and move to that. So we're just going to start again where we were. Good. Just rewarding him every time I reposition something, anything on his body. Good. And I'm just saying good and then giving him a treat. So I'm going to do that. Stay. Good. So if he moves, I just gently reposition him. Yep. Stay. He obviously needs a little bit of time just being in this position and getting rewarded for it before I actually leave him. See how when he stops eating, he gets excited? That's why I need to make sure he knows what I want instead of just shoveling food in the whole time. I'm going to reinforce him when he makes good choices, but I don't want him to just be eating and following food, because then that's why he's doing the behavior. Now I'm going to start seeing if I can stand up and start building some duration. So he moves, so I need to start over again. I'm just putting the food down there. Stay. Easy. And if that turns out to be too hard for him, then I'll go back to having the bag out there. No biggie. So obviously, if I just have the food out there, that's too much, right? But he's a baby, so I need to make sure that I don't, instead of saying you have to do more, I'm going to say that I need to do less, because I am hoping for a nice show career with this puppy. So I need him to love it. So I want him to get really used to it. And he's pretty used to it, but it's just that he's been used to someone else doing it. Easy, easy. Good job. Nice. So he's just getting a lot of reinforcement for letting me position his body, for holding the position. So before I can go to moving away from him or making anything more challenging, I need to make sure he has this piece. So I like that he's holding it, and now I'm going to start changing my position a little bit. Let's see what happens if I stay. Good. Now I'm asking him to stay, but it's very short. I'm not worried about the tail. Stay. Good. We'll get that later. So he moved. So we're going to kind of go back and start again. Ready? Nice. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Stay. He moved a little bit, so I'm going to reposition. Stay. Good job. Stay. Good. Stay. When you have the dog on a platform or elevated surface, he's just less likely to step forward. So he moved, so I'm not going to pay him. Go back to stacking him. But see, if I did all this without reinforcing him, it would be really frustrating, especially for a young, active puppy like this. He's really easy. He's really agreeable and really sweet and really easy, but he's a baby. And he's going to get bored if I, don't make it reasonable for him. Stay. Good. Stay. Good. Stay. Good. Stay. So he kind of moved. Fix that leg. Stay. Now at this stage, I don't even care if his stack is not perfect. Stay. Good. Stay. Adding a little bit of duration there. Stay. So he moved. I'm not going to pay that one. But I'm not upset with him because he's a baby and he just needs a little break sometimes. I'm going to try it again. But notice how there's just a lot of reinforcement. I'm already starting to instill the cue to wait or stay. Whatever you want to use. Boy. Nice. But notice how now I can completely stack him and he's not really moving when I do that. That's because in this just short one little session, he's kind of gotten used to that. Stay. Good boy. Stay. And it's really important that you make sure, especially when you're working with puppies, that you're making it fun for them. You can spoil a dog's whole show career. Good. Stay. Good. By forcing, good. Expecting too much of baby dogs, good. Stay. Stay. See how just right there, instead of jumping off or stepping forward, he repositioned his rear? That's why I like to use a platform. It's really important to me that this is good. Super fun for him. Stay. Stay. Getting it? You starting to get it a little? Stay. Good. Stay. Good. Stay. Good. Stay. Good. Might be a lot for him. I'm going to see if I can bend down and get more treats. Good. So that was a criteria right there. Stay. Stay. Good. Stay. Good job. I like that he replaced his rear back there. Good boy. I'm going to give him a little break and let him hop off, and then I'll invite him to hop on again if he wants to. Nice try. Good. See, I want to make the platform a fun place so he's into doing it. Good. Wait there. Good job. Stay. Good. Stay. Now we're just building duration. And once the dog starts to get it, stay. So that was a little bit too much for him. But he's not jumping off, and most of the time he's not moving really badly. Stay. Stay. So I'm not too worried about it. it's just a matter of a lot of reinforcement when they're first learning this behavior. Good. Good job. Go away. And see, he's willing to hold the position for quite a long time because the rate of reinforcement, that was my fault, is so high. If I was being stingy, hop back up. Hop back up. Want to come up? No? Come here, buddy. Good boy. Yes. If I ask for too much and then don't give enough reinforcement, I'm going to teach them to hate this behavior. And it's important to me that they like it. Stay. Good. Stay. Almost more important than the behavior, which I do want, stay, good, to be solid, stay. I also want him to really love this. It's important to me. I have really high hopes for him. Stay. Yes. So now I'm starting to add some duration. Stay. Stay. And this is the first session we've had doing this. I mean, we've done a lot of free stack practice, which he's pretty good at, but this is the first time, stay, good, that we've worked on this. Staying and holding it on the platform, good. Stay, good. And I'm just starting to add some duration. Good. So rather than just having food here, you know, and doing this, and kind of using food to keep him in position, which I might do once or twice with a little tiny puppy, I really want to be able to set the dog up and then reinforce him or then bait him. So I want to be able to do all these pieces. And then reward him. But it's really hard to go from having food, stay, to not having food at all in your hand and having the dog actually understand what you wanted. Sometimes if you have food in your hand, they're just following food and they get really good at luring. And, but they're not necessarily thinking about what they're doing. And I want them to know and be aware of what they're doing. Stay. Good. Good. One more. Stay. Good. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so that you get our updates and when we're going to be on, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.